that will kind of clarify what's going on. So, it was really actually very effective. It cleared things up immediately, and he kind of got the, wow, all right then. So, I was explaining to him one day, H, it's like you and I are together, and we have a kid. And then you get with my sister Julie, and you guys have a kid. And then I get together with your brother Trevor. And then you hook up with my mother. We didn't let me use that system. Anyway, with all this experience, you can probably imagine that when it came to naming our own children, there were some names that were just automatically out. Because I had an association with them. Audrey was the one girl name that I didn't have kids to go with at that point, so that was an easy pick for us. And then a friend of ours suggested the name Brennan for our second child. It wasn't until I was 21 weeks along, actually, that we realized that we were pregnant with twin boys. So that was exciting, but then we realized we needed another name. And so, trying to make some connection between the boys and actually all three of our children, I said, we need a C name. We'll do A, B, C. And my husband, in his brilliance, thought that Conan was a really good idea.
Great name.
I don't even need to explain it. Yeah. So I think Colin's going to appreciate that I won that battle. Now, we have A, B, and C, and of course Audrey came out as a singleton one, and then the boys came out as a pair too, and so with our luck we have triplets next. So, in order to avoid continuing the alphabet, and since I had actually been gestating or nursing for 4 consecutive years, so we figured that, hey, this is maybe Headland's turn to try to help us out here with, stopping the alphabet. And so basically back to Headland's Plumbing. Instead of going for D, we opted for the V. I do have to acknowledge that when I first talked about, sharing this information, I don't think he was that thrilled that I was sharing other people's personal medical information. And he truly didn't actually warm up to the idea after I, hey, well, and he didn't warm up to it. He was sitting on ice pack at the time. That could be part of the reason. What's done is done now. Now, my husband, who is actually here tonight, he was more anxious about me being up here than I think I was. And in part because I think he's not a big fan of when I freestyle it, as you would say. He's had a bad experience with me freestyle dancing. Not freestyle dancing at his brother's wedding. And neither of us realized until a couple weeks later that it was all caught on videotape. So even though it was 10 years ago, it's still pretty fresh for him. So he's really wanting to help me prepare. He's warned me about the, wow, 10 minutes can be a really long time. And he's stressed the importance of timing. And, his feedback is important to me. It's valued. And actually, he's a great guy. He does a really good job. He provides humorous, caring, and honest feedback when asked, which is, it's important when he's asked. Now, his timing, though, is really, really horrible, actually. It was just this Thanksgiving that we'd gotten all the kids bathed and dressed and ready to go out for Thanksgiving dinner. Keyword Thanksgiving. And I said, is there anything more you need me to do? And he said, are you done with your hair? Yeah, it wasn't really the answer I was looking for. that I just don't do anything with myself 90% of the time. I don't wear makeup. I don't do anything with my hair. I wear what's there, and I don't shave. Now, however, I mean, in college there were times when we went out, and so on those occasions, I got cleaned up. I put in a little effort. And I gotta tell you, the payoffs are pretty significant. You know, my roommate from college and our friends who consistently looked good, they didn't really get a lot of attention. Now me. I put a little, product in my hair. I put on some mascara. It was like extreme makeover ready. People didn't know who I was. They were like, oh, who is that? You look so good. And actually there's other fringe benefits to that because my sister, who is very fashion conscious, good looking, does her thing, she's also here in the audience, thanks. She took me under her wing and said, I'm going to donate my old clothes to you. Think about that, it is great. I get something that fits, I don't have to shop for it, and it's free. And it's better than anything I could have picked out myself. And when I see her, I think, oh, I'll be wearing that again. So check out her outfit, see if you think it's good. Tell her it looks old, and she'll give it to me. My sister Julie started that after my cousins decided that they were actually interested. They were going to do something a little bit more extreme as an intervention for me. And that intervention, they included trying to get me on the show What Not to Wear. Yeah. Now, my husband doesn't really call what I do. He's like, I don't think apathy equals a beauty strategy. But you know what? It still works for him. Because I simply have to, I tuck in my shirt, I put my hair down, and he's like, you look good. And I'm grown out, I think, too, that's a whole other issue, but he thinks it's attractive, it's just driving me nuts.